What's the truth behind the urban legends of the notorious Helltown? Welcome to Friday Night Ghost Frights from Haunted Road Media. I'm author and ghost historian Mike Ricksecker. Explore with us. Every legend has some grain of truth, and the infamous area in Ohio known as Helltown is loaded with plenty of urban legends. From chemical spills to aliens to satanic cults, the stories are plentiful, and it doesn't help when television shows come out and exacerbate the myth. So what really happened? The so-called Helltown is actually the Boston Mills area of Ohio, which was seized by the United States government in 1974 in order to create a national park. At the time, it was believed that we were developing too much land and we weren't creating enough parks. One of the locations chosen by the government to control was this sleepy little part of Ohio along the old Erie Canal and adjacent area.
Back in the day when this was actually a fully functioning town, there was some industry around here. Like the train would go back and forth, Akron to Cleveland, stop through here.
While many citizens fought the government takeover, their battle documented in the 1983 PBS special, For the Good of All, there was a mass exodus from the area that made it look like a ghost town. Add in that the local fire departments were allowed to burn down some of the houses for training, and the area really began to look like a hell zone. One homeowner wrote on the wall of their home just before they left, "Now we know how the Indians felt." The desolate look the area suddenly took on started the rumor mill, and many urban legends were formed. For instance, one urban legend stated that an abandoned school bus left in the area was one in which a busload of children were slaughtered by serial killers, escaped mental patients, or members of a satanic cult, depending on which version you hear. In reality, this bus, which is no longer there, was a temporary home for a family repairing a house they just recently purchased. It was unfortunate timing for them, as the decision by the government to take the land came shortly thereafter, and when they left their home, they simply left the bus behind as well. The legend of the bus also extends to the local cemetery, which states there's a large number of graves containing children who perished in a bus crash. While there are, of course, graves of children at Boston Cemetery, there are none tied to a school bus crash. This is an obvious attempt to link the story of the abandoned school bus to the cemetery. Other urban legends of Boston Cemetery include it being haunted by a ghost who sits on a bench and stares blankly off into space, and trees that move on their own. Of course, the trees in the cemetery have remained stationary. As for the ghost sitting on a bench and staring blankly, there are no benches in Boston Cemetery. One of the possible villains from the school bus legend, the Satanic Cultists, are said to operate out of one or both local churches. Although there are several stories in circulation about this imaginary group, the two most common seem to be the man in the basement stories and the stories of upside-down crosses all over the church. The man in the basement is supposed to be someone who guards the church, but will hide his face if you try to look at him. Of course, any normal man working at the church may suddenly become startled if he spotted someone looking in at him through a window. As for the upside-down crosses, the Mother of Sorrows Church has a gingerbread trim, which is a frequently used style in the Gothic Revival architecture in which it's built, and utilizes these types of crosses as its design. A number of urban legends in the area are centered on government conspiracies. The most famous concerning an apparent chemical spill which forced people from their homes. Many of these people are said to have developed physical mutations, and the area of the spill is supposed to be known as Mutant Town or Butane Town. Of course, there is no record whatsoever that there was ever a chemical spill anywhere near the area. The government's eminent domain that forced people from their homes was very real, and several of the locals tried to force a legal issue and went to Washington, D.C. to fight the action. The U.S. property no trespassing signs that had been posted when homes were seized could be the origin of some of these rumors, in conjunction with the gas pipeline that was run through the area. Speaking of that gas pipeline, if there is any government conspiracy, which also includes aliens and secret underground military installations, then it may have been to take that property to run that gas pipeline through there, as well as the transcontinental cable that's there.
There it is, Cuyahoga River. Oh, by the way, warning, transcontinental cable route. Don't dig anywhere in this area. I don't plan on freaking digging. Oh, hey, wait a second. Gas pipeline in the national park. Guess who owns that? Yeah, the government.
Of course, that's just speculation and conjecture on my part, and there's no way to prove that. at least at this point in time. I also believe that signs that are posted these days on properties that are still being claimed, yes, it's still happening all these years later, stating that there is a state of emergency, are quite excessive.
Yeah, area closed. All National Park Service area beyond this point closed to public use and travel because of emergency conditions. Bullshit. No emergency. Took it over because you can.
There is no state of emergency in that area.
And this was recent, people. Look, it's at a dish. So it's still going on. They're still taking properties. Okay, there's the first road closed. Around. There's the second road closed. And the house was right before it. When I was just here in September, the house was right here. All in the name of turning it into a national park. Fine, area closed, but still, this was somebody's home. Yeah, because that's a little bridge I was after. The house was right the freak here. It had a garage. They redid the ditch to make it look like nothing was ever there. There's somebody's garage. So, alright, well, they've warned us, so we won't actually walk up there.
As for paranormal activity, ghosts and spirits haunting the area, it's my understanding that before the homes were taken from their owners, there were a few houses there that had been haunted. But that would be very difficult to prove now with the homes being gone and the spirits probably vacating the premises as well.
And people used to, live down here. They used to raise their children, have their dinner, go to sleep, fuck, whatever.
That said, there's an eerie feeling of sadness that rests upon the area.
Overall, the feeling is sad. Go ahead, keep digging, keep searching, keep researching. The truth is out there. All those people along the canal path, they could have walked them. They could have made a path down there and walked along that too, while people still live down here.
A palpable, dull energy that hangs over the empty lots, like a shroud. If you want to explore more of the Helltown area, please check out our other videos off to the side. I'm Mike Ricksecker. Till next Friday night.